Welcome back to another exciting episode of Cyber Defense TV. I'm your host, Gary Malewski, and the publisher of Cyber Defense Magazine. Sitting in my hot seat today is a very special guest from one of my favorite companies, Zimperium. It's Michael Callahan, and he is the Chief Marketing Officer. What does Zimperium do? You're going to find out, and it is an area that is so critical because guess what? We all have something in our pocket right now that could be infected or could cause a problem of data leakage. Tell us what it is, Michael.
Thank you, Gary. Yeah, and you're right, and that the way that you said that is absolutely true, and that it's something that's in our pocket and it's with us all the time. In fact, I heard this, it's sort of a joke, but it said if you're at an airport and you lost your child and your phone, which one would you go find first? And so it's a joke, of course. People would go find their kid, or hopefully they'll find their child. But it's so connected to us. I mean, we have it all the time. We're looking at it, we're using it. It's this unbelievable tool for information and insight, but it's become now this favorite attack target of the hackers because it's so unprotected and they can use it to get into organizations.
So Michael, I've got, everything on my smartphone. We all have devices in our pockets loaded with, it's a supercomputer. I mean, it's got memory and it's got a CPU and it's got storage and a keyboard, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, NFC, microphone, webcam. I go on Salesforce, I send an email, I make a phone call, I get into a chat program, I look at Facebook, I update Twitter. I'm doing everything, and I'm using this as a business device.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and what you just said was you use it as a business device. What's also happening is you're using it as a personal device, and sometimes on the personal side, you're less strict, if you will, about the security piece. You're a little more open, but you absolutely use it as a business tool. And in fact, most people, we've done some surveys on how often or how much do they use their mobile devices versus their traditional laptop or endpoint or laptop or desktop. 80 to 90%. So 80-90% of their job, people say they can do just on their mobile device, which is a fantastic productivity gain, right? And convenience and speed. Like business, just the speed of business increases thanks to these. The downside is the security risk on it because these have very little security on them, other than some vetting of apps possibly, which is a small way to get into the actually attack or compromise a phone. But because they have such little security, the attackers look at it as the easy access point. I mean, that's it. You go to the phone and you get in.
So when you say it's the easy access point, I've been talking to a lot of people about the digital transformation, right? Cloud computing in the business world is, as you say, the lines are blurred. It's my phone, it's my personal device. I might be a little bit lazy on how I behave for security personally, but on business, I have a different behavior. I might be trained to do things a little differently. Maybe I've learned about phishing attacks. What is Zimperium doing to deal with this blurred line issue and how these devices may be the root cause of data theft and exploitation in companies?
Yeah, well, so you've got to provide some kind of protection, and I'll give you this thing to think about is because it is essentially just another endpoint, right? It's a laptop, desktop, tablet, phone. They're all endpoints. You wouldn't think of not putting some sort of security on a laptop or a desktop. That would never even come to mind. Now, 20 years ago, when people were still figuring out, well, what is a virus and how can it be attacked? Maybe there were some questions, but now you wouldn't think about it. So phones or mobile devices, tablets are going through that exact same adoption curve where people realize this is just another endpoint device and I have to protect it. And while there's some training that you can do for people so that they realize, oh, this looks like a phishing attempt, I shouldn't click on it, don't open attachments from people I don't know, you still need to protect the device. And because there's such little protection on it, that's where the attackers are going. They see it as the weakest link.
So is Zimperium actually coding a wrapper to harden the device? How are you being deployed on mobile to secure?
Yeah, good question. There's two primary ways. One way is an actual app. So we take our app, it's called ZIPS, stands for Intrusion Prevention System, but ZIPS is an app that sits on the device. So you download it and then it monitors like a nervous system using machine learning to see is there anything going on that device that's abnormal, and then can stop any sort of attack, or take some sort of action.
Will this work on an iPhone?
Absolutely. So iPhone or Android.
So are you leveraging the VPN API and protocol so that you can keep an eye on and eavesdrop on traffic, and you're running in the background all the time?
Yeah, well, it's not running all the time, but it is looking, because if you ran all the time, you probably would impact the battery too much. But you look at certain data points on the phone. So let me go back one step and say, so the way that you use the machine learning technology on a device, you put it in a lab. We did this for about 3 years, 2.5, 3 years, where we threw billions of data points at it that would represent, or you train it to understand this is an actual attack versus not. So you get to like an incredibly high efficiency. So you put it on the phone.
Behavioral monitoring on the phone.
Absolutely.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and so that's one way. So you've got this app that's on there There's another way, though, that a lot of companies are starting to adopt, which is take that core technology or that core engine and embed it in their app. So you can embed our it's called the Z9 engine in an app in less than 10 minutes. And then as your consumers or your users are transacting, as soon as that app is open and that session is started, you're monitoring for any kind of attack. And if there is one, you can stop it right there.
So Michael, 60% of my endpoints in my organization are usually not protected or covered unless I have partnered or licensed technology from Zimperium?
Absolutely, yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
And the numbers are really kind of scary, what you said. So I would sincerely recommend that our viewers go to Zimperium.com, check out their threat report when it comes out. They do it every year. You're gonna learn a lot about the endpoints that you just thought was the phone in your pocket. These are the endpoints at the most risk in most organizations. The Trojan horse is in all of our employees' pockets. It's the smart device, it's the smartphone, it's the tablet, and we've got to start securing them now. Check out Zimperium.com and stay tuned again for another exciting episode of Cyber Defense TV. Thank you.